Hi, my name is Coco with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with TMurph and Sasheer Zamata to discuss Woke, currently on Hulu with season 2 debuting on April 8th. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you.
I super enjoy watching the two of you interact on screen because your characters are so different, but you still appreciate each other. But they're the most zany interactions. So one of the most hilarious moments for me was when you all were discussing relationships, and Clovis was trying to attempt to let you see it his way. I would love for Timur for you to talk about that interaction, because that's a real thing. You're being very logical.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I mean, that's how a lot of men look at it. Like, I'm pursuing you because I like you.
Right.
How else would I let you know that I like you? And we live in a new age and a new time where, if you're in the gym working out and the dude is looking at you, he is now a creep. So he don't know what to do. You can't. Dudes are confused. Everything that they were taught to do is now wrong. So now we don't know what to say. We don't know. Don't get out my DMs. No man knows how to approach women in 2022. No man.
You just don't. But say nothing.
Right. Get out my DMs.
Yeah.
But that's what's so interesting about the show, is because we're having like literally, this is such a fun show to have uncomfortable conversations, or maybe unpopular conversations, because we are talking about activism, we are talking about difficult things, but I love the way you guys make everything humorous. That's a very complicated thing to do, because some of these themes are so serious. So Sasheer, I want to talk about Ayanna, because when Keef had his moment, right, and went viral, you were like, I'm not taking that down. That you had your come to Black Jesus moment. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because Keith is finding viral fame, and he's finding all these new opportunities with the spotlight that he's getting. And Ayanna is kind of wrestling with that because she's been doing the work in a more grassroots way for years. So this is kind of they're at odds in this respect, because she wants to be able to support her friend, and she wants any activism to be happening. Like, of course she wants to fight for the same cause, but also she questions Keef's motives and is like, are you going about this the correct way? Is there even a correct way? And she starts analyzing her own journey too, and like the work that she's been putting in for years, is that actually serving her livelihood or even the community that she's been trying to reach?
Mm-hmm. But I think that's truly fair. And I think that a lot of us have sort of wrestled with that, and the idea of like activism and how social media has turned everything into something so performative for some people, Mm-hmm. So I think Keef is coming from an earnest place, but as we know, Ayanna is definitely also coming from an earnest place. But what I like, TMurph, is that you're kind of coming from the place where a lot of, you kind of see things in a very like, I guess in a very grounded way. Like, you're crazy. What you doing? So that it's fun because we all have that friend. We have the friend like Ayanna who like really wants us to do the work. Then we got the friend like TMurph, like, you look crazy.
Insane. Yeah. No, because when you think about it, like you say, we all do have that friend. Mm-hmm. And especially like black folks, a lot of us, we see it, but we're numb to it, because it's happened so much, and you've been raised in those communities, and you grew up watching it, you've seen it on the news, and social media puts it in your face every single day. So it gets to a point where you're just like, oh man, that's just life. Oh, I've seen it, or I've been through that already. Mm-hmm. And then you need people like Keith in your life who are brand new to this, who may not have seen it. So now that it's new to them, they want everybody to know. You need people like Ayanna's character, who sees it all the time, but understands that it is a problem and it needs to be tackled head on. So, those people help each other. And I think that's what's great about the dynamic of our show, is that everybody gets an opportunity to help each other along the way.
Absolutely. And even speaking to that, the roommate situation, there's no world where I would expect all of those guys to be friends in real life, right? But they, like you said, they do complement each other, and they really, really are strong friends. And it's so interesting because for Gunther, as much as he's a very laid back kind of dude and just really chill, he has those moments where he says very profound things in the moment, And so it's really interesting to see that, even as he was interacting with Keith, and it just everything that happened in that house. But I wanted to talk about that episode. I've never heard of that piece, F you. I mean, I know rock, paper, scissors. And I've never really had roommates, right? Like I tried not to have, many, many years ago, but it's just so interesting that interaction happened in that way. And again, just the way everybody was having these sort of like these, it was an episode about sex and sexual fluidity. And Ayana's approach was so hilarious. And it made Gunther have to make what he believed was maybe like an extreme decision. Yeah. And you weren't being so literal per se, but again, it was having a conversation like, are you really being present in the moment? Are you giving it a try? Why are you here? Like, why aren't you in there? So I just want to talk about that, Sasheer. Like, what did you think about that episode?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, we get to explore what it means to be woke racially, but also sexually, and explore those different topics. And that's a fun dynamic in that apartment. And Ayana eventually joins the boys in that apartment in the second season because she needs a little housing help. And I just love that this group of friends exists because that's real. You don't. Not everyone's gonna be the same type of person or have the same mentality. And I like that we have these varying perspectives in one group. And even like we have multiple Black people on the show and we all think differently. And I love that because we're not a monolith and we all have different experiences, different backgrounds, or different reasons we think about things. And I think it's cool to see all that in one show.
Mm-hmm. And TMurph, I mean, we're talking about it as far as the show. I spoke with Lamorne earlier, and really, I mean, Keef is having a mental health crisis. Mm-hmm. He's talking this stuff. Yeah. And you're seeing you're seeing it not necessarily how he's seeing it, but you are very you're very aware that your friend is going through a thing. So again, we have someone that's more like an Ayana that can probably put more of a name on it, and then there's a character like yourself who's just like, yo, bro, what's going on, And so I just think it's interesting, like I said, just how these very very serious themes are being tackled, and you can just say like, like, listen, have a 40.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because that's what it is. I mean, when you think about mental health within the Black community, how many people are actually going to talk to therapists? How many people are actually going to sit down with a counselor? So, therapy is taboo within the Black. Most times you're not even gonna find a therapist that looks like you. So I'm not going to sit and talk to no white lady or Frasier about what's going on with me. There's no world in which you're going to understand what's going on in my life because you weren't raised how I was raised and you haven't seen the things that I've seen. Mm-hmm. So we're taught to internalize, and that's it. That's how you get rid of it. Go play basketball or jump on the game or something else. But yeah, I mean, I think it's something that needs to be brought to a lot of people's attention, how much we internalize negativity and bad things that have happened to us.
Right. And in that way, and I mean, of course, the therapy is addressed in the show. And just to your point, I mean, just being able to see that someone is resistant in that way, that's about as realistic as it gets. If you say that you're seeing a therapist, people will look at you like you got 3 heads. You know what I mean? So like, why are you talking to those people? Don't you got some friends? But sometimes you just need an impartial party to sort of figure out what's going on internally with you, So I think that's great that you guys have. I mean, you really have tackled like every single theme of things that we've been talking about, particularly during COVID. And it's just amazing to see it wrapped up so neatly in this show.
That's why we're going to have 12 seasons.
You have to. You have to, guys. So what's happening in season 2? What can we look forward to?
You can look forward to more analyzation of the word woke and the idea of being woke, and kind of how there's no right or wrong way to be woke. And you see each character have their individual journey with that, and hopefully the audience can relate and think about their own lives and think about if what they're doing is actually what they're trying to do.
Definitely. I thank you guys so much. This is a great conversation, and I really do enjoy the show, and I've been putting people on. Okay. It's good. Yeah. My name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with TMurph and Sasheer Zamata. We're talking about Woke. It's currently on Hulu with season 2 debuting on April 8th. You guys are going to have a lot of fun watching this show if you haven't already. If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.